Hello guys, welcome back to another video of the Nashorn restoration. I'm Rob. Here you can see the Nashorn drive at Militracks. To show it to the audience, this was the last drive we could do at Militracks because the prop shaft broke, and this means that we had to get towed by the military. They were there with the Kodiak and they were very helpful in towing us. Unfortunately, at the last bend we went down in a small pit, maybe a meter deep, slowly going down, but the Kodiak was at such a speed that it could not accelerate in that gear anymore, and we went straight into the tree because of that. Yeah, neither of us thought about having another vehicle in the back for braking. Yeah, we both didn't have the experience. They were engineers and not recovery team, so they didn't have the training for that. So yeah, we cannot blame them for what happened, and they were very helpful in recovering everything and yeah, making the best out of it. So here you can see the tree that we had. The final drive got ripped off completely, all the bolts sheared off. You can see the fender was bent. Talking to the Overland War Museum, to the director, he gave us permission to cut down the tree so that we have a better chance of not creating more damage on the vehicle than necessary. We tried to tow it back to get it off the tree, but it would have caused damage to the rubbers. One rubber needs to be replaced, but that's already in Poland for a new rubber. And yeah, you can see the final drive in a really awkward position. Yeah, for the tracks it's a really good test for the new tracks. You can see how much they are bent in a minute at a different angle, and yeah, they hardly have cracks in it. Only the worst ones have a few small cracks. So yeah, looking at the new tracks, they are very good quality. Otherwise they would have sheared off quite easily. But yeah, it looks quite severe, the damage. But at hindsight, it's one shaft that is broken. You can see it at the bottom of the final drive, the white looking spot. That's the cloth keeping the oil in the final drive. That shaft got broken. But yeah, we're talking to the Air Force right now. They're trying to help us out and making a new shaft at low cost as possible. So that's a great thing. And for the rest, yeah, the bolts of the final drive, but they're easily replaceable. One of the rubbers, you can see it in front, has the steel has a big dent, but also rubber got torn off partially, so we have to replace that one. And the fender of course is bent, and the sprocket as well is also bent. But yeah, the sprocket is already repaired. I will show you that in another video. You can see here how much the track has bent, and we have to cut it, otherwise you can't get it off the return rollers. So that's what the military is doing right here. We chose one of the track links. He is asking me now which one it was. This track link is severely bent and cracked as well, so yeah, if you have to cut one, why not choose the worst one? And he said it was quite tough material to cut through, so another sign of good quality tracks. So if you're looking for tracks for your restoration project, you can contact us and we give your contact details to the guy that sells them. Here you can see we are pulling the tank back on. The tracks are still good. Short tracking it in this way. Some people mentioned on Facebook, why didn't you drive it without the tracks? Well, then you still have to move the tracks, and this way when turning, the load will be distributed among all the wheels and not on the front wheel the most load. So this is a safer way, and it's also done as long as tracked vehicles exist. There are several pictures of Nashorns being short tracked like this. We had quite a few tracks damaged, so we also had to bypass the idler wheel. Unfortunately, we wanted to get that in as well, but we didn't have enough good tracks. So this is the way we did it, and it worked very fine. I'm also going to talk to the owner of these new tracks. Some of you guys mentioned at Militracks that you are willing to buy one of the damaged track links at cost of the new one, so we can replace them at no cost. So yeah, if you are interested in one of these links, drop me a comment and I will get in touch with you. I'm not sure of the price yet, but yeah, there will be the cost price for new links, and they will be made this year anyway for some customers. So we will have a big batch made. Here you can see the prop shaft that was sheared off initially. It turned out that the prop shaft that we used, the tube, was not strong enough for what we are doing with it. So the only thing we can do about that is replacing it by a thicker tube, and that is yeah, it's an easy job to do. So we just measure it. It's about 3 mm, so I'm gonna use probably something like 4 mm seamless tube, and that makes it 30% stronger, so that should be more than enough. And we still don't want it to be too strong. We rather have a part like that break than the shaft that broke now hitting the tree. But yeah, of course, when you hit a tree with that force, nothing is going to stop it from breaking. But yeah, in case of normal use, if you hit something smaller, or it turns out that there is a small problem, you rather have a part break that's on the inside that you can easily reach than the shaft of the final drive, because then you need to take the entire final drive apart, and that's a lot of work. But yeah, this hitting a tree is very unfortunate, and yeah, you never expect something like this to happen. You can see that's bent track again. And here, this is on the Sunday of Militracks. We had it Saturday until Sunday afternoon set outside, so that the audience could see it. And then during the break that the drivers got, we towed it back into the museum itself, where it is still. And we are going to leave it inside the museum until we have all the parts to fix everything. And it's also the clutch plates of the gearbox need to be replaced. They're functioning okay, but in certain circumstances you can notice that they're going a bit hard. So because we have to work now anyway, we're going to replace the clutch plates as well. But yeah, you can see here that we put a dozer at the back for braking, so that we won't have any other problems, which at hindsight, of course, it's very easy to judge like this, but we should have done this from the beginning, then we wouldn't have this problem. But yeah, you learn from your mistakes, they say. But I must say, we got a lot of new friends from this team, from the military. They even invited us to come along with an exercise, and I will pick up the Nashorn and we go to their exercise terrain, so that we can drive there together with them for an exercise. So yeah, we keep you in the loop when we are going to do that. Of course, we cannot disclose the area and the date of that exercise, because it's yeah, for the military, for safety reasons, they don't want audience with that. But yeah, whenever I can make some video footage of that, I will. Some people mentioned that the people of the military were not careful enough when maneuvering the tow, but yeah, as said before, they are not trained for towing vehicles. and neither are we. So yeah, we cannot blame them for anything that happened, but when you look at how they are doing things here, you can see that they do whatever they can to do it as safely as possible. So yeah, we were very happy with the way they did things. So there's no reason for blaming them or anybody else for what happened, except for, yeah, at hindsight we could have thought of having a brake at the braking vehicle at the back of the Nashorn, but yeah, unfortunately we didn't think of it, and it's one of these things that just happen, unfortunately. The only thing that would have been nice to do is there was also a Farmo, and that's the German recovery vehicle of that era that was used for tanks like this, and we even have a picture of that Nashorn being towed by a Farmo. So that would have been nice to put it in front of this and tow the Nashorn with that, at least in front of the audience, to show yeah, the wartime era way of towing it.
Yes, tussenuit. Is your boy?
You can see here that we're working together with the team, so that's very nice that is even possible, to let strangers help you out with a tank that weighs 62 tons. So even after all this happened and the bad luck we had with the Nashorn so far, first the fire and now this damage, the weekend at Militracks was awesome, and yeah, of course next year we will be back and hopefully nothing like this will happen again. But even given what happened, yeah, we were very happy with how the weekend went, and all the help we got and all the support from other people saying how sorry they were about this, what happened, and yeah, everybody is trying to help. So it's a great community. We are thinking of leaving the fender more or less like it is right now. Of course, we have to make sure that it's not hitting the tracks when driving. But yeah, the damage is of course character of the vehicle now, and yeah, it also tells a story. So we're trying to think of a way to leave the fender more or less damaged. Of course, what I said, it needs to be safe as well. But yeah, if you have any ideas on that matter, then let us know in the comments. This is the turn that the accident happened at. At the background you can see the cut down tree. You can see that they have crossed the towing cables, and this is for towing it around the corner. And in one situation when you turn right you need one cable, and for turning left you need the other cable. So in this way you don't have to stop to switch cables. reason that we didn't put back the A-frame in front, the barrel support, is because when we hit the tree we had it loose to have it swing to the side when maneuvering, so that we wouldn't hit the Kodiak, and we didn't tie it up later because it wouldn't fit properly anymore. It looks like when hitting the tree in the back a nut come loose a little bit, so that is tipping forward a tiny bit, and that's just enough so that support won't fit anymore. And the only thing we need to do is tighten down that bolt again, and then it should fit again. But since we cannot elevate the barrel because the mechanism is not made yet, we couldn't do it like that. We had to lift it with a forklift or something. And at the beginning I didn't see what the exact reason was for that, so we just left it alone to not further damage anything else. So here you can see where it's going to be, next to the T34. And yeah, for the next few months it will still be there until we have all the parts to make it drive again. So if you're in the neighborhood and you want to visit the museum and see the Nashorn, it's still there, and I will let you know on Facebook when we will be ready to move out again. So until then, yeah, feel free to visit the museum and see the Nashorn live. I will put a link in the description for the museum's page. You can see that we're constantly, whenever we need to move, talking to each other to make sure that we do everything safe and within the possibilities. And now we're moving over the back of the Nashorn because we couldn't tow it anymore, so we're pushing it over a little bit. There are also people on the other side checking for the alignment. So it's not that when you don't see somebody checking something, it doesn't mean that there is nobody there. We did have comments about that, but yeah, of course in the camera you can see only that much, and yeah, you don't see everybody that's around. Yeah, there are people in the back now watching till how far it needs to go back. See, also now the gun has been moved over because the forklift needed room for pushing, so he wouldn't hit the barrel. Here I'm taking the short track off again, so that I can take the front wheel off, which has a damaged rubber ring. The Polish guy that arranged the rubbers for us, he is also at Militracks, and he said, okay, give me the ring and I will sort it for you. So I have spoken with him later on, and probably somewhere in July that ring is ready for being picked up again. So thanks for watching, and seeing you for the next video.